Greetings to you. This is Tommy Turner, Dean of the School of Education. It has been brought to our attention that we have some inconsistencies and potentially inadequate syllabi being used for this particular era of time across the university. And I want to make sure that all in the School of Education have a common understanding of the things that should be included in syllabi. Some time ago, someone brought me a few syllabi to evaluate under the exemplary online course rubric through Blackboard, and someone brought in this particular syllabus, and you can see that it is pretty thick, to say the least. And when the instructor handed it to me, I took it in both my hands like so, and I said, if I was a student and got this syllabus, I would drop this course. And they were incredulous and said, "What do you mean, Dr. Turner?" I said, "Well, that is a huge and daunting syllabus." It had 40 or 50 pages in it. And then I have another syllabus here, which is a graduate course syllabus that only has 3 pages, and one of them is half blank. There must be a happy medium somewhere that gives the essential requirements of syllabi and yet does not overwhelm a student who receives the syllabus. So let's talk about the essential elements and other things that you might want to include in your syllabi. Of course, first of all, I see very little difference in the content of syllabi, whether the syllabus is an online course or an on-campus face-to-face course, or any combination of blended. Some of the things that are in the syllabus must be included in both. Secondly, it needs to be underscored that your syllabus is really a legal contract along with the catalog, the university catalog, for what you expect and what you're going to provide and what the students can expect during a particular course. And so the content of the syllabus is terrifically important. Of course, there's no question about the fact that the course name and number and CRN and the hours of meeting or the delivery format, whether it's online 100% or blended or meets every other week or whatever the case may be, needs to be on there. The second thing that is very important, in my opinion, is that contact information for the instructor needs to be included in the syllabus. The office hours, telephone numbers, and for many of us that also includes a cell phone number that students can access if they need to contact the professor. And that is particularly true if the professor has limited office hours on campus, or if this is in an online program. The second thing underneath that is a communications policy. I recommend putting into the syllabus a communications policy. That is, how can the student contact the professor? And if they do, by email or phone or voicemail, what kind of turnaround can they expect? Go ahead and put that in. If you're going to commit to a 24-hour turnaround on all communication, including weekends, say that. If you're not going to be available on weekends, say that. Just be clear in what your communication policy really is. Then, in our school, of course, it is critical that all of our courses be linked to student learning outcomes, and that those student learning outcomes, that is what you expect the student to be able to accomplish and do during and when they finish this course. Those student learning outcomes are linked to professional standards, educational standards, program standards, music standards, physical education standards. And so the student learning outcomes need to be linked in the syllabus to the standards that those particular outcomes will address and accomplish. The third part of that particular piece, the syllabus, the best syllabi that I have seen, tell what kind of assessment is going to be used to assess whether or not the student has actually mastered that standard and met the student learning outcome. If it is a class discussion, if it's a research paper, if it is a paper and pencil test, if it is whatever it is. How are you, the professor, going to assess that particular student learning outcome? Some put that in a tabular form. They will have the standard or the student learning outcome in the left-hand column. In the second column, they will have the standard that outcome addresses. The third column, then, how that student learning outcome is actually going to be assessed in the course. The next thing that all syllabi need to include is the grading scale. Exactly how is the course and the students in the course going to be graded? Point values, feedback mechanisms, the final grading scale, how many points are going to accumulate to an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F, and that needs to be clearly outlined in the syllabus. I also want to emphasize, because this has been an issue in times past, that the syllabus does not need to be changed after the first day of class. For example, if someone wants to eliminate an assignment, that seems to be, on the surface, in the interest of the student. They're going to have to do less work. But what about if some students come and say, but I was depending on that assignment to gain extra points? Then you must account for that. In other words, I would never alter what the syllabus has said or the assignments unless it was in the favor of the student. And if you're going to omit an assignment, then you still need to give those students who are depending on that assignment the opportunity to complete it for the points that they may have earned. Otherwise, even omitting the assignments and giving the students less work to do could actually penalize some students. You also need to put all the other requirements of books, textbook listings, technology software, or any other materials that the student will be required to purchase or possess to be successful in the class. You need to put the attendance policy if you have one. Some of the schools have attendance policies, some programs have policies, and there are attendance policies or engagement policies, if you will, for online environment. The online environment is a unique situation regarding attendance and participation. You must be very careful about that. We want students to be engaged. The more engaged students are, the more likely they'll be successful and reach those student learning outcomes. So you have to be very careful in what you expect students to do and how to respond to engagement. How do you know they're going to be engaged in the class? Also, we require in the School of Education the academic honesty policy. It needs to be included in the syllabus and in every syllabus. We also required to include a disability statement, the disability support statement. If students are eligible for an accommodation, they need to register that with the DSS office in Doggett Hall, and there'll be communication, and then you can, as the instructor, make those reasonable accommodations for students who have disabilities of various kinds. That disability support statement must be in every syllabus. We also have new statements now about veterans and what the university provides in veterans services, and we want to provide that information in our syllabus. We also want to provide Title IX information in the syllabus. You can get that information from my office or from your department head or from the office of Title IX on campus. Those are critical and non-negotiable elements for constructing your syllabus. You can also include certain things like the tutoring center, library services, or other things that are available to students in your school or in your particular class that they may need to access. Distance learning online at JSU has some particular statements about online courses that you may want to add to your syllabus if you're teaching an online course or in a totally online program. So these are the non-negotiables and a few negotiables for syllabus construction. If you have any questions or wonder if your syllabus is going to pass muster, then I might suggest or offer the opportunity for you to submit your syllabus to your department head or even to the dean's office, and we will be happy to give it a quick glance and to see if it contains the essential elements as in a common format. If you have any questions about syllabi distribution, syllabus building, and accessibility, then please do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you very much.